All right. Cool, cool. Let's go ahead and get this rolling. All right, guys. I think I'm live. Let me do a quick check here. Check, check. All right, guys. I think I'm Okay, great. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome to the webinar, everybody. Tonight we are going to be doing some live analysis. So last week we took. Well, actually, yeah. Well, last week we had some trades. We did pretty well. They pretty much all executed except one, which was awesome. And we've had some good turnouts this week as well. All profitable. Did really well this week so far. And it's still early, guys. So the reason I choose Wednesdays to do these is because that's true prime time. Like Wednesday is money maker day. Typically markets play out for a couple days. They get to get back into their rhythm, and it's just better for you if you can just wait. Just be patient and wait for prime time days like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But okay, let's go ahead and jump into this. It was like I had so much energy earlier, but now I'm pretty tired right now. Let me see. I was trying to add a video. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do it. Crap. Oh well, guys. Sorry, it's gonna be pretty boring. It's just gonna be all charts. But next time I'll try to figure out how to do the video again. But it's all good. No worries. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So first of all, I want to say, if this is your first time on here, we go kind of fast paced, but I do try to explain the best that I can. So if you're completely new to trading, I recommend you absolutely stick around and just listen to what a experienced analyst looks at the market. Even if you don't fully understand everything, it will come to you, and you'll learn much faster by just watching. So if you have questions, feel free to type them up. I think there's a live chat available for you to type in questions, and I'll look at them towards the middle of the webinar, and we'll go through some stuff. But I did want to do some live analysis with you first. All right, so let's go ahead and start from scratch. Now, there was a couple of charts that I wanted to specifically look at here. Okay, so for those of you that are intermediate or even beginner level and understand market structure, understand support, resistance, trend lines, etc., this will be pretty easy for you. But we're just going to go ahead and do a full analysis. So let's start with the Euro USD. And what I'm going to do actually to make this an even better experience for all of you is I'm going to just do this from scratch. Okay. So what we're looking at here, guys, is basically price, right? So the fluctuation of price to a decimal, which is basically our pip or sub pip, which is how we make our money. So what we're doing is we're trading and trading the exchange rates of these prices as they fluctuate. So volatility is our friend, right? Trend and volatility is our friend. So what we're going to do today, guys, we're going to first go over the Euro USD. So some new people that aren't used to trading or aren't familiar with trading at all, basically Euro USD is the pair of currencies, and we're basically trading the exchange rate between the two. Okay, so it's basically like if you're from Europe and you're coming to the United States. When you come to the United States, you're going to change your euros into US dollars, and they give you a certain amount of money, right? So, and that exchange rate is always changing. So sometimes there will be times where, you know, that same amount of euros will be worth more or less money in the United States, just depending on where the exchange rate or the price is, and then the exchange rate, right? So that's what we're basically doing, just 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, online. So we're doing the same thing, but instead of having to travel and do all that, we have easy access online with leverage, which allows us to make pretty good money if you know what you're doing. So let's go ahead and start on the analysis on this after that breakdown. All right, so what we're looking at here, guys, is we're on the daily chart, which means every single one of these candles is worth 1 day of data, right? So this is the price for 1 day of data. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so each one of these bars equals one entire day, 24 hours. All right, so what we're looking for is we're looking for trend, right? We're looking for market structure. We're looking for something that we can go off of and get involved in, because the way that these markets move, they are traded by retail traders like myself and even institutional level guys by market structure. Okay, so if you're involved in trading, you don't fully understand market structure, feel free to hit up our website, and there's some free videos there for you about market structure. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this. All right. So we're going to be, first of all, we're going to be looking for the trend. All right. That's the first thing that you typically want to do is you want to look for the trend, see where the trend is going, right? And just be able to identify that, right? So let's see. We got a trend line here, guys. So we have a couple points, obviously moving our way to the upside. And as you can see, we're making higher highs and higher lows all the way up in this uptrend. Now, we did break structure to the downside. We broke this trend line, and now we're somewhat consolidating. But something we also have to keep in mind is obviously we should identify some strengths in the market and weaknesses in the market. So let's go ahead and start with let's go ahead and start with a couple of support areas and resistance areas. Let's see. All right. Okay, so there's one, right? So we have 1 point here where we reject, we break through, okay, then we come down and test again once, twice, 3 times, and then we break again, and then we come back up and test again. So that's considered a very strong resistance area for me because it was a resistance at one point. It was broken by heavy price at one point, and it was a support at one point. Those are the 3 things that help me to identify the strongest support or resistance areas. So that's a very good one, which is why we've been trading and selling the euro on and off all last week and this week. Now, we did have a little spike to the upside, but we'll go ahead and get into that in a minute. So so we went ahead and identified that area. It looks like we've tapped it about twice, and it looks like we're reaching up there again. But as we go down in the time frames, you're going to actually be able to see what most likely will happen next, and we'll discuss that. But for right now, we have to get this stuff out of the way. Now, something that I did identify. Let me go ahead and move this a little bit. There you go. Okay, it's just all lines, guys. Really, this is a lot of lines, and you just got to be able to read. So, what we did identify was another a new trend formed on the daily, which we really need to identify as well. So that's going to start basically at this high, and what you're looking for is you're looking for about 2 to 3 points that you can connect, which create a trend. Okay, so any significant points. So I see a few. So obviously we have our first point up here, which is not valid for anything. Okay, and the second point is, you can consider this a second point, but a true second point is going to be somewhere around here when it breaks market structure. Okay, so I feel much more safe getting involved here. So what we'll do is we'll draw a trend line there and see what it looks like. Okay. Okay, so we're basically right up on it. Okay, so we have our trend line lined up with all the points possible. All right, and it looks like it's connecting well, and it looks like we're actually at that point once again. All right, now we can go ahead and delete this now because I just wanted to show you guys that we broke structure to the downside, which means the market's looking to reverse in direction. So that's why I drew that, so we can identify that, which is always good to do. So you always want to take your time and identify that type of stuff. All right. So now that we saw that, all right, we can also identify the inside trend, which would be from this point to this point. I don't know what happened. Okay, my computer's acting real slow today. Right. All right. So that one's a little sketchy. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and use actual price on that one. Let's see. Yeah, my computer's jacked up right now. It's all right. All right. So as you can see, guys, now we're in this identifiable trend to the downside. Now, any intermediate traders, they understand, or they may or may not know reversal patterns, right? So you have your head and shoulders pattern, which is considered reversal pattern. You have your dojis, right? You have your evening stars. You have different reversal patterns, and head and shoulders is one of them. So as you can see, on top of our new downwards trend, on top of structure above us, we're looking at a head and shoulders pattern. So as you can see, we have a shoulder here, a head here, and a shoulder here. And we have our neckline right here, which I need to identify as well. Okay, so bam. Put it like right there. All right, so we have our neckline as well, okay? So what we're looking for, guys, is really we're looking for a break to the downside below this because we want to basically use an ABCD pattern to identify where our take profit's going to be, where all the money, we're going to collect our money. But we have to get through all this boring stuff first, okay? So right now, guys, we did have a little push up. I'm curious to see what this is going to do. So now that we've identified the larger time frame, now that we know what the long-term trend will most likely be, let's go ahead and keep that in mind. So really, we're looking for sell opportunities. Just because we started a new channel to the downside, the market structure to the upside had broken, and now we have a clear reversal pattern on top of that. So we have about 3 to 4 confirmations that this market is most likely going to be a selling market. And it could be pretty long-term from what I can see because this is a long-term time frame. But now what we're going to do is we're going to get more micro, we're going to be able to look into it a little deeper by going to the 4 hours. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's see. Okay. So what happened here was that we did reach our trend. As you can see, we have a reversal pattern there. We had a wicking, which is basically weakness in the market, and then you see the reversal follow. All right. It looks like I found pretty good support here, which had our markets push up. But right now is not a really good time. I mean, we would have to take some more time to see how this is going to react at this point. This is a very vulnerable point, so we have to see if it breaks through to the upside or it's going to show us some kind of rejection to the downside. All right, so we're not quite ready to jump into this trade yet. I think it's probably going to need a couple extra hours. And to be honest, because this is going to be such a long-term trade, I believe, we don't even have to rush. I mean, really, we can just wait till tomorrow and let this play out overnight and just stay out of trouble, right? Because when trading, you don't want to just get involved in every little thing because you lose money, right? I mean, even if your risk management is good, you don't have true good risk management if you just get involved in everything that you see. I mean, that's just a bad idea. You know, the more trades that you take, the more vulnerable you are to losing more money. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're risking 1 or 2%, it adds up, you know, and then obviously the more losses that you get, the more it messes with your psychology because you're like, shit, it's like I can't win. But really, you're not getting involved. You're not buying prime real estate. You know, you're not selling prime real estate. You're just buying and selling anything where you're not making any return on investment. That's your fault. So it's about just being patient and waiting. Make sure you get very, very, very good confirmation because there's really no rush. There's always new pairs. Look at all these pairs over here. And there's way more on top of this. But these are just the ones that I trade. Okay, and there's always new opportunity in the market. So there's no reason to rush anything. There's always something else out there. Okay, so this guy, what we're going to do is we're going to wait. We've identified the strong area, right? We were able to sell a few times. So we sold euro a few times, and then we had this big break to the upside. All right, so we're going to wait to see how it reacts here. If we can get a nice rejection, I'll come back to it probably tomorrow and show you guys why I entered the trade. But right now, this is not something I want to be involved in. All right, let's go to the USD JPY. So that's the United States dollar against the Japanese yen. And we're going to talk exactly why we're in this sell right now. So we were able to sell this. Let's see. Let's go to. There it is, the daily. Okay, so here's a prime example of prime real estate, guys, and I promised I would show you this. Okay. So, prime real estate is basically where you have multiple confirmations that you're going to get a return on investment, period. If you're not getting any return on investment and it's not the risk management, the risk to reward ratio is not how it's supposed to be, then there's no reason you should be involved. But we were able to catch this trade, guys, right at a daily resistance, very strong daily resistance. Really, really like the way this is looking. So, because it's such a strong resistance area, and we're at the very top of it, and I saw weakness in the candles, as you can see, we're starting to wick out and all that. We got involved. Okay, so we already collected profits today. We cashed out and secured the bag on a few of those trades, but we're still looking to sell this market a little bit longer. Now, what we could see is this market break down, create some kind of head and shoulders, and continue to the downside. But we have to wait and see. So basically right now, we're just kind of taking little bits here and there, making money where we can. And then when the time comes to get truly involved, we'll go for the long-term trade. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So let me show you why. Okay, this is reason number one. Obviously, this is an uptrend, right? And you don't really want to trade against the trend, guys, but because we're running into a very, very, very strong resistance, most likely you're going to see some type of rejection, which we did. I also waited for confirmation, like a wick or some kind of rejection candle, which I received. So I was good. So I knew, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to risk 2%. Let's go ahead and get involved in this trade. I didn't even hesitate. All right, so that's all we need to know for this one. So we're going to go to the 4-hour and talk a little more about what's next. Okay, guys, so obviously you have to keep a mental note that we're at a very strong resistance level and we're looking for reason to sell the market at that point. So we just because we hit that level, that doesn't mean we sell right away, right? That means that we wait patiently and we look for confirmation. If there's no confirmation, you don't get involved, period. Okay, so we got our confirmation, guys. As you can see, this is what we call a doji. Okay, this candle here, where you have a long wick on the top, a long wick on the bottom, and a little body in the middle. And a lot of times when you see that, you're going to get a reversal. So having that doji on that very strong resistance on the 4-hour, I mean, it was like, why not? You know, if I don't even have to risk that much. I can risk like 20, 30 pips, okay, and use a bigger lot size, which would overall make me more money. So it was beneficial either way. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. We got involved, guys, and we made profits, okay? And we're still in a trade right now. I have a take profit right around here, so we're probably going to hit it here soon. It might take a few hours. But that doji and this engulfing candle, this engulfing bearish candle, really got me excited. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is like a good opportunity to sell the market because it's showing me confirmation on top of, our other initial confirmation. So it's like I basically double checked, right? And then I got involved. So as you can see, let me go down the hour. Now, this is where you have to be good, okay? This is where you have to have skill, have patience, and have confidence as well. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how this goes. So as you can see, as we move down to the hourly chart, we had a double top, which was basically our doji, right? Or confirmation that on the larger time frame, it just looks different because instead of each candle being 4 hours, each candle is only an hour. So you're going to have more candles, which is going to create a different formation here. Let's see. Why is she? Wait, check this out. Wait, I'm on my thing. Jessica, why? I'm on the webinar. Okay, sorry about that. So let's see. Yeah, so there was more confirmation here. I just, going down to the hourly time frame, you're just going to have a much clearer view of the market in its entirety. So as you can see, we had this nice move to the downside, and then we start having market structure, right? We start having price action. So here's price action right there. Okay, so looking left, we had structure here. We broke right through it with a very strong candle, very strong move to the downside. We close, we retest, so we basically pull right back in. Okay, and on that retest, we enter and we sell. Okay, so now what we're looking for is new structure to be made. This could be considered structure here. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like we're pulling back into it somewhat, or this market could pull back all the way back up into this structure and make a double top before it drops again. So that's basically what we're looking at. So, really the trick to doing this is just to find the trend on the larger time frame, and then make sure that you trade with the trend. Look for a reason to trade with the long-term trend. That's the easiest way I can put it. So go on the long-term charts. Okay, figure out the trend, okay, and then use the smaller time frames to figure out where to enter, right? So like where to get involved. Let me see. Okay. What's the name to look for on the Telegram? What's your name to look for? Okay. Gib 2500 on the Telegram. What's your name to look for? Just join the Telegram, brother. And my name's gonna be the Chief Analyst. So just because I go in there and I help people out if they have questions, but a lot of time we just kind of chat and talk about like the profits we made or just analysis and stuff like that. All right. So yeah. All right, guys. So that's going to be pretty much it. I do want to go over, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate video for why the traditional style of trading that we all were taught doesn't work anymore. I was going to do it in this webinar, but this webinar is, I want to really make that video its own because it's a super important video. I want to take my time on it. I want to have more energy. I'm pretty run down and tired right now. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that video separately so I can try to make it go viral because I think it's like super, super important, for a lot of traders. And I don't want to just throw it in here and have people try to look for it and just stumble upon it like a, gold mine or something. I want people to, I want to make it like known, like, hey, look, this is something that you should look into. Okay, so guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm sorry, I'm really tired today. I hope I was of help a little bit. If you're not in our Telegram, it's in the link, or there's a link in the description. There's also our website down there if you want to get involved in the free videos. And we also offer a free auto trader for a couple weeks. If you're an investor and you want to invest money, you're absolutely welcome to do that. So with that being said, guys, I'll talk to you all later. Look out for the video coming soon about why the traditional style of trading no longer works. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me just double check the questions real quick, and if we're good, then we're good. Let's see. Good. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, man. I'll talk to y'all later.